Think Like a Monk. J. Seti. J. Seti's Think Like a Monk is a modern guide to inner peace, focus, and purpose, inspired by ancient wisdom and simplified for the modern world. Jay Shetty, a former monk turned motivational speaker, shares the lessons he learned while living in an ashram in India and shows how those teachings can help us overcome negativity, anxiety, and confusion in everyday life. The book is divided into three main parts: let go, grow, and give. Together, they form a spiritual journey of clearing the mind, mastering the self, and serving others. Introduction. Why think like a monk? Jay Shetty explains that the way monks think is completely opposite to how society teaches us to think. The world teaches us to chase success, status, and approval. Monks focus on peace, purpose, and service. He says when you learn to think like a monk, you stop living for others and start living for yourself, for your truth. To think like a monk means to train your mind to focus on what truly matters, let go of ego and comparison, find joy in simplicity and meaning in service. Part 1. Let go. How to clear the mind of negativity and false identities. Identity. Who are you? Jay says that most people live by the scripts society gives them, like what success or happiness should look like. We wear masks to please others, but in doing so, we forget who we really are. He introduces the idea of the monk mindset. The monk doesn't look outside for validation, he looks within for clarity. Jay advises us to question: who am I really? What are my values? What kind of person do I want to become? He reminds us that the first step to peace is self awareness, knowing yourself beyond roles, achievements, and possessions. Second, negativity. Cleanse your mind. Negativity from people, social media, or self criticism clouds our mind like dust on a mirror. Jay explains that monks handle negativity through detachment and compassion. He identifies three types of negative people: complainers who find faults in everything, critics who try to bring others down, commanders who always want control. Instead of reacting, monks observe such energy calmly and protect their peace. Jay suggests limit exposure to negativity. Don't engage in gossip or argument. Focus on gratitude, it cleans your thoughts. He writes, what you feed your mind determines your mood. Fear, train your mind. Fear holds most people back. Jay says monks deal with fear by separating real danger from imagined danger. Fear often comes from attachment, the fear of losing something: job, person, respect. When we practice detachment, we free ourselves from this prison. Detachment doesn't mean not caring, it means caring deeply without being controlled by the result. He teaches a monk method. Identify your fear, face it in your mind, ask what is the worst that can happen, accept it calmly, and the fear loses power. Intention. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do what you do? Every action has a reason behind it. Monks focus not on what they do, but why they do it. Jay says there are four motivations in life: fear, I do this so I am not rejected; desire, I want this to feel good; duty, I should do this; love, I do this because it's meaningful. The monk mindset transforms every action into love and service. When you do things out of love, not ego, peace follows automatically. Part 2. Grow. How to train the mind and strengthen inner peace. Purpose. Discover your dharma. Dharma is your natural calling, the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, and how you can serve others. Jay says we all have a unique energy that makes us who we are. To find your dharma, explore what activities make you lose track of time. Ask what skills come naturally to you. Notice what problems you feel drawn to solve. He adds that living your dharma isn't about big fame. Even small acts done with full sincerity are divine. Your purpose is not something you find, it's something you build through daily service and awareness. Routine: build a monk's daily structure. Monks live by discipline because structure creates freedom. Without routine, our minds wander. With routine, we grow. Jay shares his personal morning routine formula: TIME. T. Thankfulness, gratitude or prayer. I. Insight, reading or reflection. M. Meditation, mind training. E. Exercise, movement and breath. He also encourages creating sacred spaces, corners of peace in your home where you meditate, write, or pray daily. Discipline may feel hard at first, but it becomes your armor against distraction. The mind control your thoughts. The mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Monks train the mind through meditation, awareness, and repetition. Jay says our thoughts are like monkeys, jumping from one branch to another. To calm the monkey mind, practice breathing, observation, and journaling. He introduces the three stages of the mind. The unrestrained mind reacts impulsively. The aware mind observes thoughts. The trained mind chooses responses with wisdom. When you train your mind, you stop being a slave to emotions and become the master of your life. Ego, tame the inner enemy. Ego is the false self that wants attention, control, and superiority. J. calls ego the mask of insecurity. He explains how the ego hides behind three masks: the mask of knowledge, thinking we already know everything; the mask of achievement, attaching identities to success; the mask of appearance, trying to look perfect. To remove these masks, practice humility. Remind yourself that everything you have is borrowed. Gratitude and service dissolve the ego naturally. Gratitude, the monk's secret to joy. Monks practice gratitude for even small blessings: a meal, a sunrise, a kind word. Gratitude shifts the mind from scarcity, I don't have enough, to abundance, I have more than I need. Jay says you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude rewires your heart. He suggests the daily gratitude journaling. Write three things you are thankful for. Focus on feelings, not just words. Express gratitude to others often. Part 3: Give. How to live with purpose and serve others. Service, the essence of monk life. In the ashram, service, seva, was the most important practice. True joy, Jay explains, comes from serving others selflessly. Service is not only big charity acts, it's about how you treat people daily, listening with attention, helping without expecting anything, sharing your time, energy, or kindness. When we serve, we step out of ego and enter love. It gives our life meaning beyond personal success. Relationships, growing through love. Monks may live apart from romantic life, but they deeply understand human connection. Jay teaches that love is not possession, it is understanding and growth. He shares three forms of love: lust, temporary attraction; love, mutual respect and care; compassion, unconditional giving. Healthy relationships grow when both people support each other's purpose, not just comfort. He emphasizes listening, honesty, and patience as the roots of lasting connection. Detachment, freedom from the material world. Jay clarifies that detachment doesn't mean rejection of life, it means living with appreciation, not attachment. When you depend on things or people for happiness, you become weak. When you appreciate them but remain peaceful without them, you are free. He writes, the more we detach from what we think we need, the more we discover what we already have. Death, the final teacher. In the ashram, monks often meditated on death, not to be sad, but to remember the truth of impermanence. Jay says that awareness of death makes us value life more deeply. He suggests reflecting, if I died today, would I be proud of how I lived? What would I regret not doing or saying? When we accept death, fear disappears and gratitude blooms. The monk mindset, living with purpose. At the end of the book, Jay summarizes the monk mindset into a simple philosophy: detach from the external noise, align with your inner values, serve with love and gratitude. He reminds us that peace is not something we find outside, it's something we uncover within. The more we learn to live like monks, with mindfulness, purpose, and compassion, the more we rise above chaos and discover who we truly are. Key lessons from the book: you are not your job, money, or reputation, you are your values and purpose. Happiness doesn't come from getting more, but from needing less. Fear disappears when you act with love and clarity. Gratitude, service, and detachment create lasting peace. Purpose is not found, it's created daily through service and awareness.